Hello.
Hello and welcome. Christine E. Schulze here, aka the Elvish author, and once again we have Isaac. And it's time for our weekly book haul where Isaac collects books from the library
And never return them.
for us to check out. And we look at the blurbs, we look at the covers, we look at what they're about, and kind of give our thoughts. And, you know, the point is to help us discover new things that we might want to read, and also especially to help you guys to discover new things that you might want to read as well. So I don't think we need to give more of an intro than that. Let's just jump into it. And he's going to pull the books out of the bag, and we'll see what our first book of the day is.
Let's start with this one.
Our first book is We Are the Fire, because that's a cool title. Right off the bat, we got a cool title. It's by Sam Taylor. And we got some people. There's the girl who seems to be casting this blue fire, as well as it's kind of hard to see because you got the library tag on there. There's a guy in the background. They both have these, you know, kind of deer, stag-looking type of antlers. So that's cool. We definitely got some very strong fantasy elements going on here. And the back says that no one challenges the flame. No one defies the flame. No one defeats the flame.
That's cool.
And like I said, the title is We Are the Fire. So it's like, okay, is the fire also going to be like this embodied? You know, is somebody going to be the fire? Are they going to embody the fire? They're going to, you know, control it, whatever the case may be. But let's see what the blurb has to say and see if it casts any more insight into this already intriguing looking book. The blurb says, when you rebel with flame, you die by flame. In the cold, treacherous land of Vesima, children are stolen from their families by a cruel emperor, forced to undergo a horrific transformative procedure, and made to serve in the army as magical fire-wielding soldiers. Pran and Oksana, both taken from their homeland at a young age, only have each other to hold on to in this heartless place. Pran dreams of one day rebelling against the oppressors and destroying the empire. Oksana only dreams of returning home and creating a peaceful life for them both. When they discover the Emperor has new plans for their kind, more terrible than ever, Pran and Oksana vow to escape this tyranny once and for all. But their methods and ideals differ drastically, driving a wedge between them. Worse still, they soon find that the only way to defeat the monsters who subjugated them may be to become monsters themselves. Okay, well, this is already a thumbs up for me. I know we're supposed to talk about it first, but also very interesting.
Oh, very interesting.
I did not expect it to start out with this whole concept of the children being stolen and basically made into these slaves, forced to learn this fire and become soldiers for this cruel emperor. I really like that. It makes me think a little bit of my book Blood Maiden, where you just kind of got like this corrupt kingdom and people are being forced into this, you know, ritual and this situation that they do not want to be in. I like the characters' names. Pran and Oksana, these are not names, you know, I'm not sure if they're from a specific culture or if these are just names that the author has made up, but either way, they're interesting names and they're not names you hear all the time. Yeah, they're not names you hear all the time, so that's cool. You know, and so I really like the general concept of the story in general.
Yeah, me too.
I also like that both of these characters obviously want to get away from this oppression, but they have very differing, you know, viewpoints. Pran is all about rebellion and taking them down and war and all that kind of stuff, where Oksana really just wants to get away and live a peaceful life. And it sounds like they are pretty reliant on each other because they don't really have anybody else in this situation. So I think it'll be interesting to also see them kind of like go head to head with, you know, these different values and ideals that they have. So, you know what? Good job, Sam Taylor. We're already intrigued.
We're in.
So if you guys like those concepts, if you like something, it makes me think just a little bit. I know it's not set like in our world, so I guess you would not necessarily say dystopian. I don't know if dystopian has to be set in the real world, but like an alternate future. It gives me a little bit of like, just a little bit of like Hunger Games or something kind of like that vibes, just because you have that concept of like
I can see
a
that.
wicked government kind of forcing people into this situation, and it seems like it's very normal, you know, but like nobody wants to be in it type of thing. So if you like that kind of thing, and if you like things with very strong fantasy elements, because again, we don't know why these people have antlers. Do all the people have antlers? Is that just because when they get turned into these fire soldiers, they change appearance?
Or it could just be a hat.
I don't think they're both wearing antler hats. But yeah, so I think this one sounds really good. But if it sounds up your alley, maybe you should check it out.
We are the fire.
Well, we gotta follow up this book with some other good ones. What else is in the bag, sir?
I feel bad for the next book. Whatever it might be.
Ooh, Girls of Paper and Fire. I've seen this one. I've seen this title, and I've been very intrigued by this title. Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Ngan. Is it Gan? I don't know if you say the N. I'm not sure how you say this name. It could be Nan, it could be Gan, it could be Ngan? Nigan? I don't know. Pardon, someone can tell me how to say the name if you know it. Her last name. But yeah, I've seen this title. I mean, I think the title itself, Girls of Paper and Fire, what does that even mean? It's a really intriguing... True. It's like rock, paper, scissors, right? Like, and then I always I know this is always hard to show in video, but there's like a shimmery, like her hair is like really shimmery. I like when they do that with covers. Almost like her hair is almost kind of turning into fire, which is very cool. So visually, it's again another book that draws you in. And on the back it says, "In my land, we're known as paper girls, easily torn, existing only for others to use and discard. But there's something they've all forgotten about paper. It can light the world on fire and make it burn." Well, that's intense that's really enough. Cool. That is enough. But we're going to read the blurb anyway, so we're just having good books today, guys. We're having good books. Each year, 8 beautiful girls are chosen as paper girls to serve the king. It's the highest honor they could hope for, and the most demeaning. This year, there's a 9th, and instead of paper, she's made of fire. Yeah, I was going to say, this kind of seems like it's, if I'm not mistaken, and you guys can totally yell at me if I'm wrong, but I believe that this is maybe based upon like some kind of like Asian culture. Because when I first heard of like this book, it almost makes me think of Memoirs of a Geisha.
I was about to ask.
So I don't know if they're geishas necessarily, but you know, he's going to serve the king, like, oh, your highest honor. Like when we watched The Tale of Princess Kaguya, and that one king comes to her and he's like, oh, well, surely you must want to come join my harem because there is no greater happiness that a woman could ever have. And it's like,
no greater happiness.
Nah, bro. But anyway, this kind of makes me think of that a little bit. So maybe kind of a similar-ish situation. We don't know how they're meant to serve the king, but, you know, just kind of a similar situation. All right. So the blurb, furthermore, says, Lei is of the paper caste, the lowest class in Akara. Even so, rumors of her golden eyes have piqued the king's interest, and so she is ripped from her home and taken to the opulent palace, a gilded prison, her life now beholden to the demon king's every whim. But, as Lei dreams of escape, she does the unthinkable. She falls in love. Her forbidden romance, enmeshed with an explosive plot that threatens the king's very reign, will force Lei to decide just how far she's willing to go to fight for her freedom. Lush, poetic, and utterly unforgettable, Girls of Paper and Fire is an extraordinary tale, reminding us that pure love and passion can transcend even the bleakest of fates. Cool. So it was already good. Now we got a romance, a forbidden romance in here. If that's done well, always a good time. Yeah, I don't know what we can say. This sounds like a really good, interesting book. Really interesting concept. I like the name Paper Girls, that they're just considered so fragile and just kind of like this, you know,
I wonder if this
what's the word I want to say?
Demon...
I wanted to say dispendable. That's not a word though. What's the word?
Disposable?
Maybe. I don't know. I can't do, for an author, I can't do words today. I'm editing a 500-page book right now, guys, so just like a part of me. My brain is, there's nothing else in my brain except for that. Yeah, the Demon Kings, that's interesting if they just kind of call him the Demon King, just like they're considered paper girls, just because they don't like him that much, or if he is actually part demon. Either way would be interesting. There we go. We have a picture of the author. There's Natasha, and let's see. So she grew up between Malaysia, where the Chinese side of her family is from, and the UK. So yeah, so again, I'm sure that there are some things in here related to Asian culture, or at least inspired by, Chinese or Malaysian culture. As you guys know, if you've been here before, we like diverse books. We like books that show diverse cultures, or at least people inspired by. In my own books, a lot of my races, they're all made up races, but they have a very diverse look, and to show a diverse cast and diverse cultures and things like that. So very cool. Okay, so far we are 2 for 2. Equally good sounding books, to be honest. So
Let's see what else we got.
next, if you would.
I would.
Ooh, we got a whole theme going. You did this on purpose?
Yep.
Okay, well, we got more fire. This one is called It Ends in Fire. They came to learn, she came to burn. Ooh, by Andrew Shvarts. That might not be how you say his name either, but it's fun to say Shvarts, and that's what we're going to go with until we are educated otherwise. Yeah, so again, It Ends in Fire. Cool title, very intense. You got this lady on the front dressed kind of in, some fighting, warrior type of clothes with a cloak, and she's holding some fireballs in her hands, which makes me think of my book, Prelude of Fire. On the back of this book, it says that Blackwater Academy is the true seat of power in the Republic of Morovia, maybe in the world, where entire generations are molded into a powerful, unbending, uncompromising aristocracy. Blackwater Academy is where wizards are made, and I'm coming for every last one of them. Ooh, I didn't expect it to take that turn at the end, It's like, okay, we're like all about this wizarding school.
I'm just thinking about it. Harry Potter.
But Harry Potter, if somebody was coming to destroy all of the wizards, yeah. Interesting. Okay, so this is definitely a world where magic is very prominent. You got a whole school of wizards, aristocracy. So I kind of like that. Maybe this is going to be something about the aristocracy is kind of hoity-toity and not taking care of people, and this person's kind of coming in to change the system. But let's read more with the blurb, shall we?
The blurb.
Alka Shirazi is on a mission. Number 1, infiltrate Blackwater Academy. Number 2, win the great game. Number 3, burn Wizard Society to the ground. As a child, Alka witnessed her parents' brutal murder at the hands of wizards before she was taken in by an underground rebel group. Now, Alka is deep undercover at the most prestigious school of magic in the Republic, Blackwater Academy, a place where status is everything. Told you. It's all about the status, the aristocracy, one of those situations. Where decadent galas end in blood-spattered duels, where every student has their own agenda. To survive, Alka will have to lie, cheat, kill, and use every trick in her spy's toolkit. And for the first time in her life, the fiercely independent Alka will have to make friends in order to recruit the misfits and the outcasts into her motley rebellion. But even as she draws close to victory, to vengeance, she sinks deeper into danger, as suspicious professors and murderous rivals seek the traitor in their midst, and dark revelations unravel her resolve. Can Alka destroy the twisted game without becoming a part of it? So I like this one because it's like reverse Harry Potter.
Yep.
It's like all the wizards are kind of, I don't want to say evil, that's the wrong word, but they kind of got some dark rituals going on here. I mean, decadent galas but ending in blood splattered duels. So they obviously have some very twisted traditions and just the way that they do things here at the school. Status is very important, so you're probably not treated well if you have low status, if you're not popular, if you don't maybe have a lot of money or things like that. So yeah, it's kind of like reverse Harry Potter, where the wizards aren't such a great place to be. Hogwarts is not your home. You don't want to be here. I get again that we have a unique name, Alka. I've not seen that name before, so good job on a unique name there that has not been, that sounds fantasy but hasn't been used, a ton of times. I think it's just really interesting, this whole undercover mission at this school. I do like a good academy story if it's told well. I will admit, I still like the whole young adult kind of angsty teen.
I do too, actually.
Type of thing going on. But if it's done well and just having that unique school setting, I am still into that. What do you think of this one?
I'm in.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
We're on a good streak here today. So, yeah, it's almost like Harry Potter if, like, Harry Potter was, like, the only good guy and all the professors were trying to find out, like, and get him out of their school, you know? So, but yeah, very good, very good.
Didn't that happen in Harry Potter? Man, maybe I'm just remembering well.
He's never read Harry Potter and he's only seen the movies once, so anything he says, he does not know what he's talking about. Next book, please.
There was a movie where he was, like, recruiting them to do something, hadn't he?
Yes, and we will watch them, and you will understand. That's not a wrong memory, so there's a movie where that happens.
Yeah. The fire theme ends now.
Oh, okay. Well, we had a good little fire streak going on there. I appreciate it. That being said, this Dustborn by Aaron Bowman at least continues the themes of some kind of elemental aspects, and the cover is very fiery, even though it looks like there's a dust storm going on as opposed to fire itself. So Dustborn, again, a concise but cool title. It's a cool cover. You guys got those really vibrant colors of her walking through this like dust storm or sandstorm. She's wearing some goggles that make her look a little bit steampunk, but obviously those are probably to protect her eyes from all of the sand and the dust. I keep saying sand. I don't know if there's sand. We're going to find out if there's sand. But yeah, and let's find out what the blurb to this one says. In the wastes, everything has value, especially secrets. All her life, Delta of Dead River has been told to keep her back hidden. Branded on her skin is a map to a rumored paradise called the Verdant, and in a wasteland plagued by dust squalls, geomagnetic storms, and solar flares. It's a map many would kill for, even if no one can read it. When her family is abducted by raiders, Delta sets out to rescue them and quickly learns that no one in the waste can be trusted, perhaps not even her childhood friend, Asher, who's been missing for nearly a decade. But she will need Asher's help to decode her map if she wants to find paradise and trade its location to free her family. What Delta doesn't count on is what waits at the Verdant, a long-forgotten secret that will shake the foundation of her entire world. Okay, so we got a lot of interesting concepts going on here as well. Wow, this is a really, really good string of books today. I'm going to say that this fits in with the fire theme because
her friend's name is Asher.
Her friend's name is Asher, and their home is ravaged by things like, in addition to the dust, the dust, you've got the geomagnetic storms and the solar flares. So there's a little bit of fiery, elements going in there. I like that her name is Delta of Dead River. Obviously, Dead River is where she's from, but it's a cool sounding name altogether, Delta of Dead River. Yeah, so that's really cool. The map being inscribed on her back is really cool. Why is it there? How did it get there? And then I don't know, like this story has nothing to do with this, but it made me just think a little bit of In the Land Before Time, of them all going to find the Great Valley, which is like this, place of like lush life, and they're living in just like this ruined world. It just made me think of that for a second. Obviously, this will be a very different story, and obviously when they find the Verdant, they are going to be discovering a long forgotten secret that is going to really change things up as well. So yeah, there's just a lot of interesting concepts in here as well. I think this is another good one that if you're interested in fantasy, not classic fantasy though, this one isn't your whole magic casting type of fantasy.
This could be just post-apocalyptic.
I was gonna say it's giving me a little bit more dystopian vibes, or maybe post-apocalyptic vibes. But it's obviously got enough elements to where it has a fantastical type of feel. But yeah, definitely not your classic, Lord of the Rings fantasy, or like we're reading some of the others where they're casting magic, or the wizards, or anything like that. But very fascinating sound, and we have, I do believe, one other book to take a look at. So if we could.
Oh, we would.
Whoa, look at this cover, guys. The Waking Land by Callie Bates. And the tagline says, all she is loyal to, she must now destroy. I adore this cover. So you've got this outline of a woman in green, but within that green woman, you also have all this nature, and there's, it looks like maybe a castle or a mansion. Giant mushroom. There is a pistol here, so that makes me interested. A little bit different time, maybe not straight up medieval. Although, to be fair, they did actually have some guns in medieval times. I never think about that. You always think about swords, or at least I always think about swords when I think medieval, because I love swords and I love things like Zelda so much. But they did actually have pistols, and they did have, well, I actually don't know what kind of guns they had, but I know they had guns back in those times. So this also could be, again, it's completely owned land anyway. But yeah, very, very beautiful illustrations. A lot of woods and forests and gardens and mushrooms, but also you've got the two people on horses with, like, either, like I said, a castle or a mansion in the background. The Waking Land is just really cool. It makes you think of, like, it's just going to be like this magical land or forest or something that's been in slumber and either comes back to life, or, how is it going to get awakened? So it's a very invoking, a title that invokes a lot of interest. And then it's saying all she is loyal to, she must now destroy. I'm kind of guessing that this green woman is the main character. She's got, the plants, the life coming out of her fingers. So it seems like she might be a character that creates life, but now she has to destroy it. So why? There's like a lot of questions just by looking at the cover alone, which is a very well done cover. But now let's look.
Say the author's name?
I did. It is Callie Bates.
Okay.
Thank you for asking, though. We always want to say the author's name. So, the blurb to this one says, Lady Alana is fiercely devoted to the king who raised her like a daughter. But when he dies, under mysterious circumstances, Alana is accused of his murder and must flee for her life. Returning to the homeland of magical legends she has forsaken, Alana is forced to reckon with her despised, estranged father, branded a traitor long ago. Feeling a strange, deep connection to the natural world, she also must face the truth about the forces she has always denied, or disdained as superstition, powers that suddenly stir within her. But an all-too-human threat is drawing near, determined to exact vengeance. Now, Alana has no choice but to lead a rebellion against the kingdom to which she once gave her allegiance. Trapped between divided loyalties, she must summon the courage to confront a destiny that could tear her apart. Okay, so I was wrong. She's not going against nature. She's using nature probably to go against, the home that she, they say it's her home. Yeah, so basically like where she grew up, what she's used to, she's going to have to go against that. She has these powers, again, of, nature related that are coming to life within her. That could be, part of her waking up, her powers awakening, along with the waking land. So, the blurb is interesting. It didn't give us a lot, though, which don't have a huge problem with.
That.
Because there's definitely some interesting things going on here with,
I know about these magical legends.
Yeah, you've got, her father, the man that she, has raised her like a daughter, mysteriously dying. Then she goes back to her despised, estranged father, I assume her, her birth father. That doesn't seem like a great, situation or relationship there. So some intrigue with the different relationships. But definitely with her magic and how it's related to nature, I really like anything like that. I have one of my books, Lily in the Snow. All of the characters are elemental beings with close ties to nature. So a lot of their magic is also really closely tied to nature. So yeah, definitely intrigued. This is also a thumbs up.
Oh yeah, me too.
They're all sound really good. Do we have like a favorite? Do you have a favorite today? This is difficult. I don't even want to pick a favorite today. I really don't.
No, I can't.
Because it started off with a bang with this, but then this was great, and then they were just all, it's all really good. We don't want to pick a favorite today, guys.
No favorite today.
If you have read any of these books, let us know down in the comments. Did you like them? Did you not? Why or why not? Again, if you are going to talk about spoilers, please give a warning first for those of us who have not read the books. We do not like the spoilers, especially with this group of books, which just seems really, really intriguing. That's about all we have today for this book haul and discussion. On that note, happy reading, may you be inspired, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye!
Bye!